The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, go Cowboys! This is Mick Shots, streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app. Now, here are Bill Jones, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola.
Excuse me? Is it not a Victory Monday?
I know. He said he's having a tough day. So, it's a huge victory.
It's the biggest, most lopsided Victory Monday after an opening week shutout in the history of the franchise.
You can qualify that with a bunch of stuff, right? Just so much stuff.
And all that.
All of that.
Go Cowboys, go.
Boy.
I think the Cowboys went yesterday.
That was an old school ass whooping. That's
And what was it? The what kind of team do they put in the song? The GOAT team?
The Go team of the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Or something like that. No, it wasn't the Super Bowl. Senior Bowl.
Senior Bowl.
Because when that song came out, there was no Super Bowl.
Right.
There was no Super Bowl
And there
when
was
that
no
team,
Senior Bowl
but there
either.
could be a Super Bowl in this team's
Oh,
future.
boy. Look out. Here we go.
You said you weren't going to talk much today, Bill.
That's right. I
Don't
told Everson
don't
driving
do
in,
that.
I said, well, at least I don't have to talk much today. Everson will have all.
We got your back, baby.
Let me just say off the top, okay, the last time.
Oh, my God.
The
I know
last
where you're
time
going.
the Cowboys
Don't do it.
went to the Meadowlands
Don't do it.
and shut out the Giants
Don't do it.
by at least 35-0. It was 35-0 in 1995. And what did the Cowboys do that year?
They went to the Super Bowl.
They not only went to the Super Bowl, Everson, they won the Super Bowl.
won the Super Bowl.
That's right.
Unfortunately, the next year they shut them out 27-0.
It wasn't in the season opener. It was a home opener.
It was a home opener.
Yeah, the next year.
Okay.
Yeah, and things kind of went downhill from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
How about that
Not
40
today.
burger?
how about them Cowboys?
Not today, baby.
You know, my take on it was there was all this discussion on how good the Giants were going to be.
That's true.
There was all this discussion.
I was telling
on,
you all about Raheem Nunez
Roches and their rookie center and all these other guys they
The
added.
mystery Roches.
Yeah.
That mysterious player that just popped up out of
And
nowhere.
I think he was mysterious in the game, too,
Yes,
by
he
the
was.
way. How Daniel Jones was going to be better than Dak Prescott.
Man, it's
how
crazy.
they added all these guys that Bill pointed out. And on, that the Giants were going to challenge the Eagles and the Cowboys for supremacy in the NFC East. Well, and they put on a pretty good show before the game, 100-yard American flag, national anthem by the Queen Latifah, brought out Coco Gauff for an introduction.
They had the three quarterbacks, right? The three Super Bowl winning quarterbacks, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. Eli was there doing something,
Eli
pre-guy.
Payton and Phil.
And Phil
Simms, yes.
And they just went on and on. The national media was all about the Giants. And if you paid attention to the NBC pregame show, I think they had 5 guys or 5 people picking the game.
Yeah.
They all picked the Giants
You're
except
lying.
for Jason Garrett.
It was like all the
You're
New York people picked the Giants.
Yeah, everybody
Chris
picked
Sims.
the Giants.
That's a good one.
And
I
you know
like that.
what everybody forgot? The Cowboys were coming to town.
That's right.
They totally forgot. They even got their home field ambiance because they don't have a roof, right? Rain like that.
That's right.
I was thinking, you know what? I got the number to K-Post Roofing. We can get this thing fixed, right? Because they needed some
By
waterproofing.
the second quarter, they were all going home.
Oh, but third quarter, middle of the third,
Yeah.
the place was getting empty.
That's crazy.
And the only people there were the Cowboy fans.
They were
And you
enjoying
heard him when
themselves.
Deuce Vaughn got in the game.
With what, 5 minutes to go in the game? They
They're
didn't
still
leave.
there.
They
And
didn't
it rained
leave.
harder. It was raining harder.
Oh, that was the hardest
yes.
at the end.
People who didn't know better thought the Giants fans were booing the Giants when
did.
Deuce Vaughn carried the ball.
Actually, they booed at halftime when they left the field, by
Yeah.
the way, with, I don't know, what, at halftime, did they have 100 yards total offense yet?
Well, I didn't happen to do the halftime stats.
81.
81.
81 yards. And so I was just glad that. And I know it's the first game, and I know the thing got kind of carried away, but everybody got to see what we had been seeing in training camp. We had seen that defense ruin practices because they put so much pressure on the Cowboys quarterbacks.
We had seen Wanye Thomas run special teams drills.
Yes. And make plays after plays after plays, right? We had seen Marquise Bell play that big line or the big safety position at linebacker. Ends up leading the
very
team
comfortable out there
with 8 tackles. Right? He was all over. There was one possession he made the tackle on all 3.
That's right.
They went 3 and out, and he made all 3 tackles.
At first, I thought, how did Jabril Cox get so fast?
I did the same thing. I had to remind myself.
Jabril Cox's old number. Jabril now, I think, was the Washington practice squad.
Yeah, and then
and then I thought, how come Dontario Drummond is in the game, running down the sideline, almost running out of bounds when he picked up the blocked field goal?
I thought he was. He saw it, though. It was a deliberate step to stay in, and it was Katie bought the door after that. It was done.
And Trayvon Diggs doesn't tackle.
Man.
Well, he laid out Saquon Barkley, and they ended up calling an interception.
And then I thought
they did call an interception. Yeah.
Then I thought, there's Kelvin Joseph making a tackle. No, that's Jaron Curse making a tackle.
Oh, yeah. We were talking about the numbers, man. I was in Baton Rouge for the LSU Grambling game. We were watching.
How'd that go?
It went well.
Okay, good.
They made their $400,000.
They put a 70 burger on the Grambling. Is there a 70 burger out there?
I know there's a 40.
Okay, so you were in Baton Rouge.
In Baton Rouge, and we were watching the game, and we were talking about the change in the numbers and the jerseys and how confusing it was because even from last year. So last year I'm looking for 27. Of course, I got number 1, and that was very confusing because he looked so huge. Mm-hmm. He's too big for number 1.
The number that he wanted.
He wanted 0.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that. That would look better. The number 1 just looks too dainty. It looks too dainty on him.
Well, whose number looks like a 0? Kevontae Turpin, because he's so small that bottom part of the 9 goes away, and it looks like it's a 0. But yeah, and the other thing, we kind of understood what this defense could be. Yeah. And they won a game 40-0, and I thought the offense was okay.
Okay.
Good.
Just okay.
But that's it.
That's it.
And then when they got the lead, I thought it was interesting that Mike McCarthy pointed out that they went to their weather offense. Mm-hmm. They decided to pull back. Let's make sure the only way the Giants can get back in this game is turning the ball over.
That's right.
We're going to be very conservative.
Use the clock.
And one thing we didn't realize is 3 days, a portion of practice was with a wet football. So they were preparing for weather, and they had.
They didn't bring any. They didn't water them down. It was just from sweat.
Yeah, right.
It was so hot.
Right. And they had put together a weather game plan. Like if it's this bad, okay, here's what we're going to try and do, and let's just make sure we're protecting the football. Well, when you're up. What was it at one point? Was it 26 to nothing?
26-0.
Why extend yourself? Right. Why show some stuff that you don't need to show the Jets? And
that was the only way the Giants could get back in the game was if you turn it
right.
over.
And the one thing they did show that we hadn't seen, I think we saw maybe a little in training camp, Kevontae Turpin lining up at running back.
Yes.
And actually handing him the ball.
And
scored, by the way. And we had talked about how they're going to compensate for not having Zeke at the goal line. And one of my ideas was, well, just use your speed.
Yes.
And they did.
Take it wide.
Right?
Take it wide, cut it back.
And so somebody asked him about Turpin at running back, and McCarthy joked. He goes, well, you want game plan now, right? and somebody said, well, we hadn't seen that. He goes, you also haven't seen us throw the ball to him out of that package.
Right.
So get ready for that too, by the way. So yeah, I think they watched a lot of these college games where the misdirection plays and the running back goes the other way. They also And somebody said it was a pick play for CD to get open on that one. Mm-hmm. It wasn't a pick play. Their DBs ran into each other. Did. Two of them. Because it was like, how did he get that far open, right? Well, we talked about those young corners, right?
I think he slipped initially as well, but somehow he was really compromised after the collision.
No, their cornerback?
Their cornerback.
Yeah, because they almost fell.
They almost fell.
Yeah, they knocked each other off.
That was bad.
The Cowboys didn't do anything, right? But they had – CD did the same thing Tolbert did in that preseason game. He delayed his takeoff, so they cleared across, and they ran into each other, and he's wide-ass open. But offensively, they finished with 265 yards. Usually – 265 yards and Dak throwing for what, $130 or so?
I think it's
you lose
170, 140, like around 140.
Well, let's see. I don't have to guess. It was 143. Right. Yeah, it's like and your quarterback rating 72. Well, you're probably losing, right? And it didn't help his stats when the tight ends dropped 2 touchdown passes.
Boy, he was. They're gonna have to step up.
Well, that's the first time I saw that.
They will.
Yeah,
and
they were really
it was so
good.
Surprising, But
the ball was wet.
Yeah, it was. But damn, dude, their hands are huge. They're supposed to catch that, and it was right there.
They looked like Eric Scissor.
It was right there. It's not like they had to do it.
You know how Dorsett used to try to catch the ball and his hands would get all screwed up? That's what they looked like.
Do you remember Witten ever dropping a ball?
Not really.
Maybe one.
Well,
maybe one.
But I'll give it.
I like these tight ends. They're going to be fine.
We like them, but that's why I'm so surprised.
Yeah. And even
because we like them because they're reliable.
And even
that's why we like them.
Here we are. We 40-0 win.
And we find something to complain about. And even and even the kicker. I felt so sorry. That was his worst kick in at least 3 weeks. I saw him warm up. He was hitting both ways from 54 yards. Perfect, and he got in there and he rushed himself.
But you know what the Giants said? Hold my beer.
Right?
Watch this kick. And watch this block kick.
Right. Wow, or watch the one Gano missed.
So that's what I'm talking about.
Last year, he only missed 3 kicks all season. Now he's already – the block counts as a miss.
Yeah.
So he's already missed 2. Yeah. And the reason he missed the second one is Sam Williams was coming in. And I think he saw him out of the corner of his eye, and he probably rushed himself and kicked a knuckleball.
You could see the Giants clearly have issues on the offensive line.
Well, we thought that,
clearly
right?
On the
they said they solved it, right? Well, they didn't solve anything.
No, you could just see it. It was a mismatch from play one. That our defense came to play. Our D-line, our front 7, just wore them out.
How many false starts did they have on the first drive?
Well, I know they had one.
They had one, but actually they had 3. There were 3 plays on that first drive. I'm telling you, that Evan Neal, that right tackle was moving. And he was rocking back on one of them for sure.
And the bad snap.
Yeah.
And the bad snap. So
which was after what I counted 3 false starts.
Crazy. I mean, they just they played like I always have that nightmare of the Cowboys versus the Broncos. That's what they look like. That's what the Giants look like against the Cowboys. And that's something that I don't know how they can I know it's the first game, but are they good enough to not just they're going to salvage a season, but how long is it going to take them to just overcome this game?
Right.
I think they'll overcome it, but how long will it take? Clearly they've stalled in their progress that they thought they had made all off season.
Well, think about this. Daniel Jones ran for 43 yards. They didn't have anybody catching a ball totaling 43 yards. As a matter of fact, their wide receivers, the first pass the wide receivers caught was 6:38 left in the third quarter.
Crazy.
And they only had totaled 5. 3 of them came after it was 40-0. So he couldn't even get the ball to his wide receivers.
And he digressed in his passing. He should be more mature than that. going out of bounds, the interception to, what's my boy, number 21?
Gilmore.
Was
a heck of a catch.
Heck of a catch, but he never should have.
What's he doing throwing that?
I don't know what he's doing. And that's the kind of stuff that I'm sure his coach is going to be upset about, because as a leader of this team, those are the plays you cannot make tonight. You cannot make this plays tonight.
How about in the fourth quarter early, they're still running a quarterback draw? What are you doing? You're going to get this kid killed. I bet he's pretty sore today.
He is.
And maybe they set the tone early when they laid hit on the slide in the first series.
For some reason, they keep thinking that they should use him to run the ball against us. And it seems like every time he does it, it's a disaster. I'm still remember Cox almost knocking him out. What was that?
Well, it's not just against us. He had 120 rushing attempts last year for over 700 yards. And so that's part of his game. But
it is, but once again,
especially when you're paying him the kind of money that,
I don't care how big he is, and you just paid him. Yeah,
you're going to expose him like that.
You got to relax on that, especially in a game like this where everything that could go wrong went wrong.
Well, the Cowboys said they wanted to be the number one defense in the league. My guess is after giving up 171 yards for the first week, they may be the top defense when it comes to yards against. And the Cowboys' offense may be close to last with 265.
And feeling great about it.
Right?
They feel real good about it.
And if you look at the teams that, they think they're chasing, the Eagles were hanging on for dear life.
The whole game.
Right?
It was a tough game.
And as a matter of fact, if they don't have that holding penalty on the 2-point conversion, they're kicking a field goal at the end to tie and send it into overtime. And even San Francisco kind of a little bit, and then they put
and
that
San
one
Francisco,
away.
first thing I was thinking of, because the second most dominating performance yesterday was by the 49ers.
Right.
I agree.
Going on the road playing at Pittsburgh. The Steelers wound up with 239 yards against the 49ers in that 30-7
both teams, the Giants and Pittsburgh, two proud teams that really got embarrassed themselves.
With very high hopes coming into the season.
And two damn good coaches.
I thought the coach could carry the team. He's so good. Tomlin.
That's true. And they died. No, that was
same thing with Mahomes.
I know
thought
they were
Mahomes
extremely
could
surprised
put
about
his
that.
team on his back no matter who his receivers were.
Right.
How long before the Giants bounce back? Well, they go to
play
Arizona. But Arizona almost beat
about?
Washington. It was 20-16. And how the Rams go to Seattle
What's
and win?
going on with that? That was a very disappointing game.
That was the
For Seattle?
Yes.
That was the shocking.
So let me
I was
guess.
looking for Geno to do something.
And I
man.
didn't see any of it. And I didn't see the
either.
numbers. But did Geno Smith become the Geno Smith we remember?
He was not the turnover machine, but he just wasn't effective. They couldn't sustain a drive. So they were much like the Giants. They were just outplayed, and they couldn't respond.
Another quarterback got paid.
That's right.
Yep. And
they lost at home.
Yeah, at
Yes.
home.
Yes.
And he was 16 of 26 for 112 yards.
Oh, my.
2 sacks, had no interceptions, 1 touchdown.
Did he go the whole way?
Meanwhile, Matthew Stafford was 24 of 38 for 334.
Wow. Was not expecting that.
Yeah. All right, we're just getting started. So much to get to on this Cowboys 40-0 win over the Giants, and we'll have much more when we come back in a moment.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
And they snap it to Prescott, who looks right. It's not there. He escapes left. He'll run for a first down.
Just like football, when it comes to crypto, it's important to have a team you can trust. With blockchain.com, I know I'm in good hands. Since 2011, they've been trusted by millions around the world to buy, sell, and trade cryptocurrency.
Prescott's going to run this himself. Run it up the middle, and he scores.
Whether you're new to crypto or an active trader, they've got you covered. What are you waiting for? Get started at blockchain.com.
You know that sound anywhere. It's the crisp crunch of that first nacho chip. With its perfect cheese to sour cream ratio sitting atop a layer of delicious beans, it's a sip away from perfection. That's what we're looking for. Add a delicious, refreshing Pepsi and we've achieved absolute nacho nirvana. Because while you can pile those nachos high with every spicy, cheesy, savory topping, there's no topping a cool Pepsi finish. Nachos, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
Cowboys football and Miller Lite. What a pairing. Can cracks at kickoff. Tailgates going way past postgame. Sunday night overtimes followed by Monday morning swagger. Brisket in the smoker. Miller Lite in the cooler. America's team playing America's greatest sport. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys football tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2023 Miller Brewing Company, Fort Worth, Texas.
Back to Mick Shots.
K-Post Roofing and Waterproofing, the official roofer of the Dallas Cowboys and the future roofer of the New York Football Giants.
That's funny. That actually sounded authentic. That's
Mickey with a little ad lib there.
Yeah.
How about that? Mickey.
Oh, they need a roof.
He get us in trouble, man.
Lord, did it rain?
Did you get wet?
No.
You didn't?
No. I was down on the sideline before the game, and about half hour before kickoff, I felt a couple drops, and I said,
I'm out of here.
I got no function down here. I got myself and the poor people, though, that were on the sideline the whole time. They were having to get on the charter, and they were just soaking wet still.
All right, so where would you like to start here on other superlatives from last night? You know, it's hard to say there were key plays or turning points in a 40-0 win.
Other than that false start in the first series.
Well, and that's
by
the thing.
The Giants.
And that's the thing. I was looking back at that. I mean, they were actually the Giants were
moved.
moving the football down the field. They were running the ball. They had and they have, after a Daniel Jones run of 8 yards,
right.
They've got a 3rd and 2 at the 8-yard line, and then their Pro Bowl left tackle, their one good offensive lineman, a false start, pushed them back 5 yards, and they're facing 3rd and 7 at the 13, and that's when they had the fumbled snap. And then, of course, field goal.
Well, it wasn't fumbled. It was
dribbled. It wasn't a fumbled snap.
It was dribbled.
That was a ground ball. That was a ground ball. That was a double play
ground ball up the middle.
That was a double play ball right there.
Right. So that was the turning point in the game. Either that was the turning point of the game, or when Micah Parsons got off the bus, that was the turning point in the game.
He's amazing.
I enjoyed how everyone played off of him. Mm-hmm. Odigizua, I love that play. I mean, Parsons just beating up two guys. You know, he knows Daniel Jones is going to step up, and Odigizua just kind of waded on into it. And thank you, Micah. I appreciate you, buddy.
Do you realize the score? I think I got this right. Ended up being 16-0,
mm-hmm.
and the Cowboys had only run 9 plays.
Right. See, that's the thing about the offense. People were talking about, well, the offense didn't really do much. They didn't have the ball in the first half. The offense had 3 real possessions in the first half of the game.
Guess how many plays they had in the first half?
How many?
Total offensive plays.
You want me to guess to buy time?
26.
26. And 55 in the game.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, they had one possession, you know, in the final minute of the half, right, up 26-0, whatever. Which I don't.
Well, they tried. They called the timeouts and said, "Okay, let's see."
But so they basically had 3 possessions really in the first half of the game, and so. And they had the 49-yard pass to CD that set up the field goal to make it 9-0 on what was their first offensive possession. And then they get the ball back with 21 seconds left in the half, and that was the 38-yard field goal by Aubrey.
And then they only had the last possession of the game. They had 3 plays, the Deuce Vaughn offense. right? They just kind of forfeited that. They didn't need it.
And after the Gilmore interception, it was the 38-yard drive. There was a Pollard touchdown. So, I mean, the offense was efficient. They just didn't have the ball. They didn't have a chance to rack up any numbers.
And, Pollard, nice game. After they kind of failed that first time when they were first and goal at the 6 and ended up kicking a field goal from the 2, and I was like, okay, but they didn't even try to run the ball, if I remember. Didn't they throw it like 3 times?
On the first possession?
That possession when they kicked the field goal?
Yes.
Yeah. And so, but then you saw what they can, and as a matter of fact, I got to go back and look at it. On one of Pollard's touchdowns, they went offset on the offensive line. Steele and Tyron Smith were on the same side of the offensive line, and the 2 tight ends were to the left. And they ended up scoring. And even Hunter Lipke got in the game. Nice block on the 1 touchdown. He took out his guy.
I thought I was going to get a tweet from Bill.
About a fullback?
About him making a play. So,
I did. It did warm my heart to see him line up at fullback.
So, you would, and everybody's like, well, how's Mike McCarthy going to call plays? Well, heck, if he had a 15-play call sheet to start the game, it's 16-0, and he only called 9 plays. And you're sitting there going, well, I might as well crumble this up. Right.
What's interesting is the Cowboys were up 16-0 with 2:22 left in the first quarter. The Eagles were up on the Patriots 16-0 with like 2 minutes left in the first quarter, too. And what happened in that game? The Patriots came back, and went right down to the wire, a 25-20 win for the Eagles.
The Eagles, they just stalled for two quarters. They just stalled.
What little I could pay attention to that, it looked like the quarterback was doing a lot of running and maybe not.
And in fact, late in the game, they're basically killing time, and Hurts ran it, and he got hit, and he fumbled, and he gave the Patriots an opportunity.
Right.
So, I mean, Patriots had their shot at the end to.
Belichick did what he does. He slowed the game down.
Once again,
the pace was theirs. After 16, the pace was in the Patriots' favor.
One of the things Romo was saying, he was seeing things that the Patriots were doing defensively, formation-wise and whatever, that he was like, I've never seen this before. And so...
Neither had Hurts.
Exactly.
How they were lined
up. So that's what Belichick was doing.
How they were lined up?
Yeah, and basically, and I don't remember the specifics, but whatever they were doing defensively, Romo was going, wow, I've never seen that before.
Was he pulling his no defensive lineman?
Well, Belichick now can concentrate on the defense because he's got an offensive coordinator in Bill O'Brien now.
Right.
Yeah.
That was very shady there for just a minute. We were looking at O'Brien like, okay, what's going on? Why is he still here? But eventually they started making plays, and Jones started being the quarterback that they wanted him to be. I'm not impressed with him, though.
Mac Jones, yeah.
Yes, I'm just not impressed with him at all. Zeke gets in the game, played a little bit.
Yep.
Fumbled the ball.
He fumbled, I heard.
Yeah, he fumbled.
Yeah, he first play that he was in, or that he carried the ball, he got 11 yards, and it was like a speed option to the right, and it looked good. And then it was like the very next play, Mac Jones throws a bad pass that got tipped and picked off by Darius Slade. He took it back for a touchdown, and it's 9-0 or whatever the score was at that point, 10-0, I guess. And then Patriots get the ball back, and they ran a little swing pass out to Zeke, and he turned to run, and it was the big Jalen Carter, big first-round draft pick, hit the ball, knocked it out, and they turned it into points, and so they were up 16-0 right after that.
I don't think he got back in the game after that.
No, Zeke carried 7 times for 29 yards, and so
4 yards a carry.
Yep, there you go. That's the standard, right?
That's the standard.
So I thought the other kind of very silent thing that took place in the game was Tony Pollard. He had 14 carries for 70 yards, 5 yards a carry. And
that's his standard.
And 2 touchdowns, right? That's his deal, right?
That's right.
But he could have done more. They gave Rico Dowdle, I think, 2 series or kind of slipped him in there. Turpin carried the ball 3 times. But he could have carried more.
I like the way Pollard on his long run, his 25-yard run. I like the way he handled that to avoid injury. I mean, he raced to the sideline.
Got out of bounds.
Yeah, I mean, didn't. I guess he got tackled before he went out of bounds.
Yeah.
But the thing that you're always afraid with a guy like Pollard is what happened in the playoff game against San Francisco. And yeah, he is a physical back, but it's that open field stuff where a guy is trying to horse collar him and things like that. And it's almost like he had that in his mind. No, you're not catching me from behind.
They catch him by the hips, and then they sit down.
Exactly.
Like they hurt him.
Right.
That's how he got hurt.
That's how he got hurt.
Sit down
That's
on
right.
his ankles.
Yeah.
Well, they're supposed to outlaw doing that now. So, but anyway, he got a game ball, by the way. I don't know if NBC gave it to him, but when he was coming off the field, going into the locker room, he was clutching a ball. So they thought enough of him, somebody did, to give him a game ball. And I thought it was very quietly efficient. 14 carries, 70 yards. He ran between the tackles, pretty tough. There was a couple times he actually pushed the pile. It should have been a 1-yard gain. He got 3 yards. And I don't know that Chuma Adoga's name ever came up, other than when he had to get hurt and he came off and then he went back in the next series. So they got through not having Tyler Smith out there.
How about Tyron Smith?
And Tyron, I made him laugh on the plane when I was getting on going home, and I looked at him and I said, so you still can get out and pull and be a lead blocker.
Didn't you?
Yeah.
Whoa.
He laughed.
That was scary, man.
He laughed. He goes,
that was pretty
nothing's
scary.
changed. That poor, was it a safety or a corner or somebody?
He just swatted him out of the way and kept on going.
And speaking of the offensive line, look who's showing up here early, and he's got food already. Is that
That's
breakfast?
my food.
Oh, that's Everson's food.
Oh, look at there. Nate Newton coming in.
They say a hog can smell food.
Oh man, but yeah, he looked fine. Dak didn't get sacked. That's all I know. So that was a good thing. And they, even with Deuce, averaging 1.3 yards a carry on 6 carries, they averaged 4 yards a carry. So, the offensive line did their job.
All right, we got to take a break, but I want to hear from Nate.
About what, brother?
About your take, Nate's take, coming up here on Mix Shots in just a moment.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
Cowboys football and Miller Lite. What a pairing. Can cracks at kickoff. Tailgates going way past postgame. Sunday night overtimes followed by Monday morning swagger. Brisket in the smoker. Miller Lite in the cooler. America's team playing America's greatest sport. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys football tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2023 Miller Brewing Company, Fort Worth, Texas. I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
And they snap it to Prescott, who looks right. It's not there. He escapes left. He'll run for a first down.
Just like football, when it comes to crypto, it's important to have a team you can trust. With blockchain.com, I know I'm in good hands. Since 2011, they've been trusted by millions around the world to buy, sell, and trade cryptocurrency.
Prescott's going to run this himself. Run it up the middle, and he scores.
Whether you're new to crypto or an active trader, they've got you covered. What are you waiting for? Get started at blockchain.com.
You know that sound anywhere. It's the crisp crunch of that first nacho chip. With its perfect cheese to sour cream ratio sitting atop a layer of delicious beans, it's a sip away from perfection. That's what we're looking for. Add a delicious, refreshing Pepsi and we've achieved absolute nacho nirvana. Because while you can pile those nachos high with every spicy, cheesy, savory topping, there's no topping a cool Pepsi finish. Nachos, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
Back to Mick Shots.
Rally Days presented by SeatGeek give NFL fans an experience of a lifetime the day prior to Dallas Cowboys home games. On September 16th, enjoy activities at Miller Lighthouse. Get a behind-the-scenes tour of AT&T Stadium and more. Visit attstadium.com/Rally Days for more information and to get your tickets today.
Good job,
Wow,
Spurs.
with
Authority.
That's right.
Excitement and energy.
Rally Days.
Big shots.
We got Nate Newton here. Now, Mickey, you said Daniel Jones. What was his
Quarterback rating? 32.4.
You know what it was at halftime?
I can tell you.
You know what his jersey?
12.
You know what his jersey number is?
0.
8.
It was 8.
8. It was his jersey number.
It was 0 for a while.
And then it moved to 8, and then it moved to 12. At least he stayed with even numbers.
Right.
Well, Nate, what was your take?
You know, and I was talking to Everson. Y'all already uncovered it's just one game. My take is this right here. I will have to be down 3 scores before I start passing the ball. If I'm any team coming in here, that's even with the with this psycho killer coming in here, Aaron Rodgers. You know, I mean, he's John Wick, man. Yeah. We cannot get rid of this dude.
He keeps showing up, right?
Yes.
They killed this dog.
But I'm telling you, that was amazing last night. That was amazing. The veterans mixed in with the young guys. I just sit back and enjoyed it, man. I mean, I'm like you guys. I'm taking notes. But, I mean, when the second half started, I took notes up to the second series. I said, just no way New York, because I kept looking at Dick Tracy. I mean, not Dick Tracy. Look, that kid look like Dick Tracy to you. The kid Jones don't look like Dick Tracy. I mean, it is. But I'm like, he couldn't figure that out. But anyway, I just felt so bad for him. And I know Coach Dayball took him either when they was going up after the game or called him on the way home and said, son, my fault. They should have not had him running as much once they saw
Why
how
is
to
he
score.
running in the fourth quarter?
That's what I'm saying.
And those were called
no
plays.
one was open.
But some of them were
Throw
called
it away.
plays.
It's called the Tom Brady effect. Throw it because that did not help his confidence. All that you worked for all last year and going into the offseason,
And
you
got
almost
paid.
blew it.
And you got paid.
Yes,
So
you
you know
almost
the
blew
fans
it.
are talking about that.
He got sacked 7 times, but I think there was another 1 or 2.
There's one that definitely got called off.
Definitely one got nullified by a defensive holding call.
Right.
Oh, it
Golston's.
It was Golston.
And then he turned around on the next play and got him.
Got another sack.
You cannot. It just reminded me of, and I'm not hoping that they have the turnaround like we did when we got Troy blasted those 11, 12 times.
11
Against the Eagles.
You know, but Coach told Norv, he like, Norv, next few games, our running game got to pick up. The center for the Giants, welcome to the NFL, baby. I mean, he didn't play real bad, but he didn't play good enough to help because the middle of that defense was sinking in, and them guys coming off the edges had both ways to go, and that hurt this kid. At the beginning of the game, you can see wherever we blew up the field, he would take off and run. We would come too short on the corner, he would take off and run. And all that was positive. But when they stayed in a wave and they took away Mr. Barkley, I'm like, Coach, what do you do? And I'm thinking, like, Coach, what do you do to save this kid? Mm-hmm. Because this is the glue. This is what you gave all the assets to during the offseason. What do you do with this kid? Because it is a game next week. So that's my take, man.
They were expecting him to come out and play the way he got paid.
The other thing,
that's what they were expecting.
The other thing the Cowboys exposed was them starting 2 rookie cornerbacks, especially the Hawthorne kid that was a 6th-round pick.
Hawkins.
And you remember John Schmelk told us he actually earned that job. He beat everybody out for that starting job. Well, they put him on Cooks. Good night, buddy. Yeah. It didn't work. And he struggled.
He wasn't facing Brandon Cooks in the preseason games.
Yeah, right. And so
Brandon Cooks had
Just
to
like
Which another silent thing that happened in the game. Cooks has 2 passes for 22 yards. He gets the interference call, a real veteran move there, by the way.
And you know who else found out that you weren't facing the third team? Was the little fellow. Dude, like, wow, this is not happening the same way. I double moved one guy and went for a touchdown. You ain't double moving these other guys.
No, they're not coming up and just patting them on the butt. No, they're
So
bringing it.
a lot of guys got their eyes open last night, including me. I owe number 71 an apology.
Yeah, me too.
I do. I'm sorry, man, because I was like, I was hoping they would play awesome TJ Bass, and this guy came out, and that just goes to show you that Will McClay and these other guys do their job.
Yeah.
They saw something there along with Coach Solari, like, hey, he's okay. And I should have asked Coach Solari, instead of asking about everybody else, I should have asked about this guy, and I didn't. So I knew nothing on him, good or bad. But he played good enough.
Maybe better at guard than tackle.
Well, me and you trying to do is, make up excuse why we was dead wrong.
Well, but I'll give you your excuse.
But he's inside.
He was playing left tackle in training camp, and Micah Parsons was up against him.
Maybe that was it.
That could have been it, too.
Maybe that was, because I'm telling you, I came to Mick after that first day, and he got hurt after that. I'm like, this dude is garbage. He's stiffer than the ironing board. I see ironing boards with more flexibility. I went off. Then the Mick, I went off for like 20 minutes.
And I agreed with him.
Yeah.
I got something since we got Nate here. Okay, well, I brought it up at the beginning of the show. The last time the Cowboys shut out the Giants in the season opener at the Meadowlands in 1995.
Yes.
35-0
right.
was the final score. And what we all remember from that game, what sticks out in my mind from that game was Kevin Smith got hurt. He tore his Achilles. He was out for the year. Mm-hmm. So then what happened days after that?
I don't know. You got to tell me, because that's
Dion signs.
Yes.
His what was a 7-year, $35 million, something like that.
Yes.
$12.999 million signing bonus, whatever.
Everybody get paid except Nate. Go ahead.
Who you sitting next to? Come on.
Yeah.
But what was interesting, and of course, then the Cowboys go on and win the Super Bowl. What are your memories from back then when that all was going on with Dion? Because you're such good friends with Dion now, and
we've just had. The way we looked at it is you go out and get a shutdown guy. We liked the pup. We knew what he brought to our team, his enthusiasm, his youthfulness. But Dion was another realm. Like when we signed Charles Haley, you just knew that
everything picked up.
Yes.
The other thing about Dion that people who weren't alive back then wouldn't realize unless you've researched it, he was playing baseball.
Yeah.
That's it. He was playing. Dusty Baker was the manager of the San Francisco Giants, and he was playing for Dusty Baker, now the manager of the Astros and the San Francisco Giants. He was still playing baseball when the Cowboys signed him. He played baseball all the way up until, I think I looked it up, September 24th was his last baseball game. And then there was a ramp up to get back into football shape, whatever, and he didn't play in a Cowboys game until October 29th. Played the last 9 games of the regular season, 3 games in the playoffs, and he was being used on offense as well as defense.
So that game, 35-0, that was a Monday night game, right? I believe it was, because they signed Pup Sunday afternoon to the big extension.
Right.
Was that the game that Jerry and Phil Knight came walking out?
May have been.
They had just done the deal
other thing,
with Nike.
Emmett on the first play of the game goes for a touchdown.
Yes, yeah.
That was up there, right?
Yes, up there.
Yeah, that's what I remember more so that we had the year before that Emmett didn't have great reviews coming into that season, and Emmett wanted to prove to everybody because they thought he had lost a step because of all these carries. That's what I remember. Emmett going to the end zone like this right here.
Yeah,
that's what I remember more than
Still
anything.
Me.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
So that is what I remember. That was a great night. That was a fun night because
Phil Knight.
It showed a lot of things.
It was
the power of the Cowboys star with Mr. Phil Knight getting
Jerry came out with his
done.
Nikes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this thing was different, man. And I still ain't got paid. Still ain't got my bag, as these young boys say.
Okay, so
the other thing, I was going to say to Nate, the other thing I think we answered is Tyron Smith still can play. Pulled out on that lead block, and really there was no leakage over there on that side.
This is what I like about this team so far. Is the fact that, and I'm saying just players, not what they gonna do. I don't know what the season brings, but fellas, whenever you have, and it's happened in your era, Walls, whenever you have a defense that can possibly wreck your offensive practices, it seemed like you go into the season a little bit better. A little bit more prepared. And that's what happened to us. When Charles got here, they used to wreck. It used to be like we be getting cussed out every film session.
Wanstead was still the DC?
Yeah. And Tony Wise would be like, Nate, they did this to you, da-da-da. Leon, just great players across the front. And our training camp, every day me and Mick be looking at it like, oh, we done wrecked another practice. Here's number 11. But last night, you see what happened.
So you tell me, because this – I think shocked a lot of people across the country. This is what we saw in training camp.
All during training camp. Bill, Everson, sorry you wasn't there. You probably would have been laughing, man, because it's like we would go into, it's called pressure drill. And they never blitzed us, but the first 4 plays in the pressure system always was wrecked. Parsons, D-Law. Osa, I'm like, wow, can we ever just get
it was on Twitter every day.
Yeah.
Every day they had proof
and you know what? And I think maybe in the second half when they got the lead and they was like, okay, we're coming after you, they started using a 5-man line.
Yes.
With Parsons in the middle. Vander Esch was rushing outside of DeMarcus Lawrence on the left, and they were coming with 5 guys. And it was like the Giants had no clue.
And the speed that the Cowboys have at the second level with, Damone Clark can run as a linebacker, but then you mix in Wanye Thomas and Marquise Bell playing up there too, along with Curse. And
you know what? And Diggs is no slouch. This kid can run. I think it's deceptive. I was watching him in the pregame warm-up when he was doing these drills with Al Harris. Man, he can run.
We knew that, Spags.
Yeah.
How did you not know that?
I know.
Everybody knows he can run.
I think everybody thinks he's kind of slow and and
he's smooth.
And
you think he's more like Everson?
Yeah,
he has all those picks.
Yeah, there's no deception there. It's real.
Because he would always say, "What's the difference between you and Diggs?" It's like he's fast.
That's it.
He's smooth.
Yeah, man.
He runs smooth. He don't run herky jerky. He's smooth, just like. Much like Brandon Cooks, he's smooth. It's different.
Everson ran smooth.
Yeah, but slow. Like syrup.
Like a loping center fielder. Yeah.
That's right. I got to say, guys, we've been talking about how great the defense is. No one mentions DQ. I mean, come on. This guy is dialing it up. I mean, he's been dialing it up, obviously, since training camp. He's the one it's not just Parsons messing up the drill. He's messing up the drill. It starts with him.
I wonder if they realized that they were going to bring in a first-year safety to cover Waller, and he did it early.
He did.
Wanye. He told me afterwards, he said, this is the most fun I've ever had playing ball. And you know
gotta
what?
Love that,
he
man.
probably was right.
Young kid, too.
Right.
Gotta love it.
Yeah.
Okay, you got a homework assignment.
Oh, no.
You got to watch football tonight.
Yep.
Oh, do you think I could stay awake?
Next opponent, New York Jets.
All right.
Aaron Rodgers and the Jets against the Bills. And we're out of time. And tomorrow we're at 9 a.m.
9 a.m. 9 a.m.
Wick number 5. John Wick.
Oh.
We're
getting rid of him this time. We're getting rid of him. He's not coming back.
All
right. See you at 9 o'clock in the morning here on Mick Shots.
Go Cowboys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?